Welcome to the Rookie Critic YouTube channel, where film roams free. Is the stream started? Okay, cool. All right, so tonight, I know there's a lot of people streaming tonight, that's for sure. There's Doomcock streaming, Geeks and Gamers was streaming, Ethan Van Skyver, Comic Cards Pro Secrets was streaming, World Class Bullshitters, everybody was freaking streaming tonight. A lot of people are streaming today for sure. And even Jeff the Iron Wolf and I were streaming today as well a little bit ago. You can check out that stream on his channel. I don't really have a huge purpose for this stream tonight. So I've done 2 streams total now, basically, and this is my 3rd one. And I'm literally just trying to get the hang of streaming, just getting the hang of talking to the webcam live, because I'm not really used to that type of format. And as of now, nobody's watching, so I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to talk about exactly as I wait to see if anybody comes in, which people probably won't because Doomcock's on, and who wouldn't miss Doomcock? So I wanted to talk about film, but film is such a broad topic that you can't just talk about one little thing about it. There's tons of things about film that we could discuss. There's plenty of things like movie theaters, for one. Now, I wanted to make a bunch of videos. I wanted to make some videos, like a video series about movie theaters, but I wasn't really sure. Hey, Kinky Pinkies, what's up, man? So, like, movie theaters, everybody thinks that they're going to go extinct, right? And I don't think that that's true. I mean, I think that it might happen based on if they don't change anything. Like, you go to a movie theater, and what's the first thing that you don't like about going to a movie theater? One, you got to figure out what you want to see. You got to figure out when it's going to play. You got to figure out where it is. You got to figure out where you want to get your seats. You want to get your ticket if they have it. You want to know if you're going to go eat anything. So if you're going to eat before you go to the movie theater or after. There's a lot of things that take into account when you go to a movie theater. And when you go to the movie theater, there's the waiting in line. There's dealing with people that are there, especially in the movie theater, that are loud. It's not just people talking or on their phones that bug me. It also bugs me when people have candy or some other type of food in their disposal and they're just making little noises randomly, which is just ridiculous and annoying. But they need to make improvements, and I plan on making a video about how theaters can improve. I'm going to do one talking about the history of movie theaters, talking about how they kind of evolved to where they are now, and then offer some type of suggestions that they can have for the future. Now, I know some movie theaters try to do some interesting things, like if you're watching some type of water movie, they will like squirt you with water. Like if you're watching Jaws or something, they'll try to get you wet to try to enhance the experience. Everybody tries to go to IMAX theaters, and I haven't personally been to one yet, but they are... I don't know, the idea, I guess, seems okay, but again, everybody wants to just sit at home. They already have their own chill couch, their own nice TV, their own systems, whatever, and want to play whatever they want at home, which I don't know if there's a thing or if I've thought of this. I'm pretty sure that something like this exists or will exist. If you could pay some type of subscription or something for a device that will let you play the newest release, like if the Avengers Infinity War came out like today, you would be able to watch it for at least 24 hours or 48 hours, as many times as you want within that time frame. A brand new released film, and you wouldn't have to leave your house. You'd be able to watch it from home, but as part of the subscription for the device or to the service or something, that sort of goes to movie theaters. Like a small chunk of that goes to movie theaters, so they still get some percentage of cash, or your views of watching it help boost something. Kind of like how with Netflix, they somehow still make a bunch of money, even though you could watch dozens and hundreds of movies and they still make bank just off the $8 that you pay. Something like that would be nice. I think there should be like a family room at theaters, not for daycare specifically, but as a parent, like I'm not a parent, but I assume that parents have this problem where they want to see a movie, but they have an infant baby with them or a little toddler or a little kid, and they want to take them to the movies, but little kids at a freaking movie theater are always extremely annoying. Nobody wants to be in a movie theater with a baby, and even if they're seeing a kid's movie, that's still annoying to everyone else. So they should have some type of a separate room set up so that they can so that anybody who has a kid can bring them to the movie theater, and then everybody is happy. I mean, everybody would have brought a kid, and it'll be noisy anyway, but at least they could still see a movie without worrying about disturbing other people. And they could also have the option of maybe having headphones in at the theater with their kids or something. So if there are noisy kids, you could still hear the movie at least and see what's going on. That's an idea. Kinky Pinkies, is there anything that you want to talk about, man? I'm just literally trying to get the hang of live streaming a little bit, get the hang of talking without anybody else responding, really. And I mean, at least with chats, that's kind of helpful. It's sort of responding, so that's pretty cool. So about movie theaters, and I think there should be some type of a rule where, or not just a rule. I know that there's got to be some type of devices that can hinder cell phones a little bit, and if they have them in each theater room, then people that enter, before they enter, there's like either a sign or person at the front of the theater that says, okay, so before you walk in, take care of all your texts, your phone calls, your social media, your whatever, because once you walk into that theater, you're not going to be able to use your cell phone. Your cell phone, as far as would be able to turn on, but maybe they could have something that make sure at least try to turn it off before you walk in or something, because nobody likes to have that disturb their viewing experience. And I don't know. I think that if they just actually enforce some of that type of stuff at movie theaters, people would be more inclined to watch a movie because they're going there to watch a movie. And I mean, that seems to be the best way to do it, I would say, to have actually more enforcement at a movie theater. And as far as candy goes, like I said, I hate hearing wrapper noises. If anything, people think they're being quiet, and when they crunch on a chip, they think they're being quiet. But no, I freaking hear them too. They should have them in some type of plastic or something, some type of Tupperware or little things, some type of dispenser that isn't paper, that just wraps like that. The theater is a great experience. It's kind of like a meal. It's much more special with the experience with others. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can get that same type of experience like with your buddies at home, but going out to the movies is part of an experience. I mean, usually, especially with dating people, you go out to dinner usually, and then you go see a movie, or you go to a movie theater that actually has, service there that can serve them, and then everybody's happy with that. It's a good thing. Top 5 Bond films. All right, now this is something that people will probably get me for. I have not seen that many James Bond movies. I just never really got into them. I've seen some of the movies, of course. I haven't seen any of the new ones. I'm pretty sure I've seen some of at least a glimpse of Sean Connery's ones. I've seen bits and pieces on TV, but I never watched a full James Bond film. But that is on a list of things for me to do. I have a lot of things on my to-watch list, basically. I still haven't watched all of Game of Thrones. I've watched one season and couldn't really go all the way through it. I haven't watched Star Trek yet. That seems like a huge, huge task. I hardly know where to begin on that. Like The Expanse, everybody says is pretty good. It's a space sci-fi awesome thing. James Bond is old, cool, classic type of thing. That's the type of thing that I probably would like, but I don't know where the heck to start with that. Show us your boobs. Yeah, my boobs are right here, bro. Man titties, for sure. For days, man. Yeah, speaking of which, I literally just had some leftover pizza and Pepsi, so cheers, man. Yeah, I've been working all week this week at Subway. I had started my week with a double shift because somebody had to call in sick, and then was working for 6 days in a row. And then last night I closed and then opened this morning, and tomorrow morning I open as well. But at least I have a nice vacation coming up real soon, so hell yeah. Going to Akron, Ohio, which I hear isn't the land of milk and honey, as Jeff Hicks says, but it's still something, I guess. My dad lives up there, so that's why I'm going to Akron. No the real reason to do that, I guess. But I'm trying to keep it on. Did you see, for you Kinky Pinkies or anybody else that watches this later, did you guys see the new Predator movie yet? I don't think I haven't seen it yet either, the new Predator movie, but I just don't think that I would like it. It looks like it's just either too funny or too much action for something that it shouldn't have that much action in it. The Predators are supposed to be stealth alien hunters that are intelligent and have high tech, and they do what they can to try to kill their enemy by stalking them, learning them. What would be kind of cool is if we saw a Predator movie from the view of a predator. Like, let's follow the predator for a little bit and see where he's going, and have him, like, watch him stalking the humans or seeing what they're up to, and then we could still get to know some human characters through the perspective of the predator. But you'd be able to do a predator movie from in a different way, expand on the lore a little bit, see some of the extra tech that he's doing, extra details that they're doing, see from his view a kill or a scalp or something, like something crazy like that would be different that they haven't done before. Instead of trying to go for their comedic buddy, oh, you got your head chopped off, this is hilarious, isn't it? I don't know. I'm kind of tired of having movies trying to make you laugh, and then they think like if you laugh, it's a good movie, which is kind of a question that I have for some people. If a movie makes you laugh, does that mean that it is a good movie? Like, if a movie was funny all the way through, but you're trying to watch like Saving Private Ryan or something, and all you got was laughs out of it, and there wasn't enough of the dramatic effect or anything, wouldn't that worsen the experience? Honestly, I mean, yeah, they made you laugh, but that doesn't mean that they increased your experience just because a film made you laugh. But I don't know where exactly I'm going with that. I don't think I'll do the stream for too long. I mean, I might do it for another 5 or 10 minutes. I don't have too much to unload. Like I said, I got to get up in the morning and just kind of unpacking a few thoughts on some film stuff right now. So I'm going to Akron on Tuesday, and I just finished editing 2 videos tonight, which I'll post either before I leave or when I get back, or I might schedule them to post while I'm gone so that there's something on my channel while I'm not there. And one of the videos that I'm trying to work on is a streaming versus discs video. And that's basically streaming services versus DVDs. Everybody thinks that DVDs are going to go extinct also. And I mean, you would think that based on how well streaming is doing these days, but I think that DVDs still have a good chance to do something at some point. DVDs are still important. They're still something physical. They're still something that people want to have. If anything, they're at least a way to burn a few calories to get off your fat ass and put it in the DVD player. But I'm not sure that. See, like with me, I own like over 400 things. Hey, the real peacemaker, how's it going, man? Just talking about streaming versus discs right now a little bit. Like, I personally own over 400 DVDs, but I also have Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, and it's going good, man. Just talking about films, talking about some topics that I haven't been able to post in a video yet. I'm trying to gather my stuff on it. I'm in the process of editing one right now. I also did some research. So Blockbuster, there's less than 50 stores left. They're not completely gone. There's a few left. There's less than 50 Blockbusters. But in Hollywood Video, if you guys ever went to Hollywood Video, that is gone. But I still think that DVDs are going to be important into the future. But excuse me. But I do think that the new streaming platforms are going to pretty much flood the market, especially with the Disney streaming service, the DC streaming service, the Netflix as it is, and going to release all those new original films. The Amazon has both DVDs and streaming, so they pretty much have a pretty good advantage there. But in my videos about streaming and discs, I pretty much go into the history of the disc itself, going all the way back to the phonograph, and then going to the record players, going to CDs, going to DVDs, and going to where they are currently. And then with streaming was hard as hell to find information about. But that goes back to mid 90s basically, and going up to now and how it's progressed. And I don't know. I think I like the information, doing the research for it. I found out so much stuff that it's going to be 3 videos. Each video is probably going to be at least 10 to 15 minutes long, and I'm hoping that those will be entertaining. The other one, like I said, I'm working on is the future of movie theaters, but that one I'll probably do after my vacation or a little bit later. I'm also I'm trying to do a bunch of things, and this is all between school and work and other life stuff that I got to deal with. I'm also going to be trying to make a remake of The Force Awakens. Now, I'm not just going to be trying to remake the script. I'm going to also do some stuff. You're not doing bad. You're having fine lighting. Yep, you're getting to the substance of your topic. I suggest this extra background. Yeah, you don't like my board games, man? You don't like all the board games and the old blocks and the storage stuff that's supposed to go into the attic? That's all right. I'm testing things out. Exactly. Yeah. Physical PC games are boom gone. Yep. That's a good point. The real Peacemaker. It's like, see, I haven't even played the PC games, so I don't even know what all those are. And Gloom Heaven Forever, bro. I never heard of that one, to be honest. What's funny too, if you guys realize as I'm leaning into these, I'm supposed to be wearing glasses, but I only wear them when I'm either playing a video game where I can't read the little text that they have on the bottom of the screens on TV, and just when I'm in class if I can't see the board. But yeah, I have to really look at this stuff. Yeah, and I don't know. As far as the topic goes, I don't know. I think changing it up all the time is just kind of natural in a live stream, as far as I can tell, because there's no way to really keep track of what exactly you're talking about. So you just end up talking about whatever for a while until you figure out you're just talking about what you like. Board games, yeah, board games are freaking awesome. Did you guys see? Okay, now I'm going on another topic. Another video, another video that I'm going to make at some point will be about nostalgia, or an idea that I had for a nostalgia month. But board games, I was looking up some old board games that I had, like Pokemon Master Quest, and just a couple of other specific brand type games, and they're like $400, $500, $600. It's like I used to own a bunch of these things, not even 20 years ago, and they don't make them anymore at all. They are expensive to get. They are almost impossible to find. Any ones that you can find have been used, and I can't believe that. Like, I thought nostalgia and stuff like that, to get that type of value, has to be over like 30 years or 40 years. No, it could even be maybe 10 years. As long as they stop making it, then it becomes nostalgic and people want it and they'll do what they can to get it. And I don't know. So like with the board games, with the Lord of the Rings Stratego game, that one I was lucky that I had 2 copies of that, because my brother got one and I got one at the same time, basically. But we didn't know the other one got it, and we kind of got them for each other actually for Christmas, which was the first time where we ever got each other the same thing. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of funny. But that type of game now would be that's at least worth $120, $150, I think, last I checked. I mean, it's freaking expensive now. And now I have to save it if I ever wanted to play it again or show it to kids when I'm older or something. That's the other thing too, with showing, just keeping things the way that they used to make them. The old toys used to have all these articulations and all this stuff. Now they're just, duh, let me do that. Which, I mean, I don't really care, but when you're shopping for toys for your niece and nephew, you want to give them something that has quality, and you're spending over $10 for it. It should be worth it. But when it's not, it's just like, man, screw that. Yep. Yeah, it does get freaking pricey. Legos. If you guys have Legos, don't get rid of them ever, because they take forever to collect. I was going to start collecting some for my nephew, but I mean, they're like $15 for a box that has whatever amount for that set. And then if you ever want to have anything really creative with your imagination, you got to have like at least a few hundred Legos or something to be able to build something big. Excuse me, out of that. But yeah, that's the toys. All right, man. See, what's funny? I feel like I haven't talked about anything. Like I've completely jumped off of one topic to the next, and I was about to finish what I was going to say about something, and then I go to another freaking topic, which, yeah, that's something that I'm going to work on. I do appreciate it. I am getting used to it. I am figuring that out, the kinky pinkies. It's just all figuring it out. Tomorrow I'm probably going to do another live stream I'll find something to talk about. It'll be after work probably, and I'll have something to talk about. I'm not sure what people want as to what I want to do. Like the reason why I wanted to make the streaming versus discs video and the theaters ones is because I haven't seen any videos that really talk about them or compare them in a way that hasn't been compared before. Usually everybody just thinks that the DVDs are going away and that theaters probably are going to go away at some point, or they're going to improve a little bit, but they're still going to decrease in numbers. And I don't know, I feel like there hasn't been that much actual good research or fun research or anything. So hopefully that'll be something new to YouTube that I'll bring, because like Doomcock and the High Council and everyone else already covers Star Wars topics a lot, and they do those things and talk about the new pop culture and whatnot. But I don't know. So I'm going to try to keep a lot of my content about film, but in live streams, I'll talk about anything, so, as you can see, because one thing will remind me of something else, and I'll bounce to another thing. I remember now too. I was going to tell you about my Force Awakens idea. So instead of just rewriting the Force Awakens, I'm going to try to make it so I can have visuals. I'm going to get pictures. I'm not going to have it be live action. I can't act and do. I can't do that. That's too much work to try that, and nobody would really want to sit and watch that. But I'm going to gather a bunch of different types of pictures. Going to gather different settings. I'm going to try to add my own sound effects. I can find those easily off the internet. Have music with it. I'm going to try to ask a bunch of people if they would voice the characters. Find some people to voice the women like Leia and Rey and whatnot, to voice Han and all of them. And it doesn't matter if they sound like them or not. I mean, the point would be that they'd be trying to get some type of thing there so it could be enjoyed in a better visual medium instead of just reading it off of a script, which reading it is fine. But I mean, I like to read, but I don't always like to read. Sometimes I really just want to click on something and figure it out right as soon as I can. And if it can be within an hour or 2 hours, then I'll probably watch it and get what I want from it like that, and try to tell it in a cohesive way, try to tell it as a cohesive story. Because I think like The Force Awakens had good concepts, very good concepts, but were just executed pretty poorly. I think that they should have explained a little bit more about what happened in between when the Death Star was destroyed and when they get to The Force Awakens 30 years later. A lot of the stuff that I think should happen, which this isn't really based on the books either. This is just what I would think based off of where we left off, is that Luke would probably try to have a new Jedi Academy of some kind, but instead of just trying to teach little kids, he would teach anyone that's willing to learn. So this would mean old men, old women, teenagers, people in their 20s, whatever. Just anyone who wants to learn from him about the Force or about anything can come to him and he will teach. He's not just going to just pick out some kids that he wants to teach and then train them like how the old Jedi did. He's not like that. He learned when he was pretty much 18 or 21 or something. So I don't think he'd have age as a limit to what he's trying to do. And if he's trying to pass on knowledge of the Force, as he's the last one that has knowledge of the Force, basically, I would think he'd try to spread it as far as he can. So to me, that would be a pretty big part of it. And as far as the First Order goes, I hate the name The First Order. That's such an uncreative, stupid name, honestly. But I think that instead of having them just be a replacement empire as the same type of thing, doing the same thing basically, but more pathetic, they should be another governing force, but not evil. Like have them, maybe take on the armor left over from the Empire, because if they're trying to make some type of an army or trying to make some type of a good galactic force, they need armor, they need weapons, they need ships. The Empire was destroyed, so there's some of those lying around, and they could easily fit into them and rewrite the narrative of what a stormtrooper is. Instead of having them be these mindless things that go and oppress people, maybe this First Order goes around the galaxy trying to help people. Maybe after the Empire was destroyed, gangsters and the people in the systems are being controlled by the people on the planets, and the First Order comes in and tries to help everybody out, tries to make it a little more fair, tries to help figure out all these diplomatic issues and whatever. We wouldn't see that, of course, but that's what they would be. So then we also have the Republic, which are the rebels, of course, that have they're supposed to be recognized as a power now. You can have them be competing for the graces of the galaxy without being at war. Yeah, they get lots of tension, of course, and they want to pretty much go to war, but they're doing the best they can to avoid it. And yeah, you haven't seen the new Predator. Dion says it's good, so I might give it a look. Yeah, maybe, but Dion is afraid of horses, so I mean that. I mean that's on you, I guess. I mean, I'm probably going to see it when it's on DVD or when it's on Netflix or something, because I don't know. I've seen a lot of movies this year, but I did not see that many. They I don't know. I saw 12 Strong, Proud Mary, Annihilation, Hotel Artemis, all these new movies, but I don't know. The Predator looks all right, but yeah, you walked away after Predators. Yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, I liked the Predators movie a little bit. Again, that's a film that has good concepts, but they're just not executed very well. They always make characters that you don't give a crap about. They always they seem to make death in the Predator universe look so silly. Like, oh, lost my hand. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know. I'll talk more about Predator in a different stream, probably. I'll probably make one specific about the Predator franchise, but I'm going to finish up my point here on the Star Wars thing so I can actually finish it a little bit. And so with the First Order, and also with the First Order being more of good guys, then that would give Kylo Ren a reason to want to go join them instead of him just joining because Snoke influenced him and he wants to be evil and Luke almost maybe killed him for a sec. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. No, he leaves because he is, he's very powerful from the genetics that he inherited, and he's very powerful anyway from the stuff that he's learned. And maybe he thinks that Luke is holding back and he's not getting treated the way that he should be. So he goes and joins the First Order, this other group that in my story would be good guys or seen as the good guys in a way. And then he'd be able to join them and it would make sense. And, people would be able to, go, okay, that makes sense why Kylo Ren actually joined up with the bad guys. And I don't know, I just think that there's so many better ways they could have done the story. And Rey, as innocent as she seems, I mean, that's kind of the character that I think she should be. Instead of being an all-knowing, knowing how to do everything with ships, knowing how to do everything with fighting and the Force all of a sudden. No, she will be like an innocent girl that turns throughout the course of a trilogy into a strong warrior. She doesn't start that way, she gets that way. She has to go through some crap in order to get that way. And she's very naive because she's only been on one planet her whole life. And I don't know, like I haven't written an actual script yet. Those were just some base notes that I started a while back, but yeah, the fight scene in The Last Jedi killed me. I was like, oh, more like the First Order, the Last Order, huh? Yeah. I don't know which fight scene you're referring to, but I think the Red Guard fight scene was bad. I think that the space battles were bad. I think that the Luke versus Kylo one lacked any type of tension or anything. Like nobody cared. There was when he's facing off with Kylo Ren, I'm like, am I supposed to feel worried for Luke? Am I supposed to feel worried for Kylo? I don't feel anything by that point. By the end of the movie, I didn't care about any of it. It was ridiculous. Yeah, the Red Guard. And it's like, they could have had a fight with the Red Guards in a way that makes sense, but they chose to just have it be so ridiculous. That's where they could have showed maybe Rey struggling to fight them and show Kylo's, real good power over them, and she maybe needs his help and he saves her or something. That would be great. To answer your question about movies making you laugh, no, that doesn't make it a good movie. The Room and The Moonraker are so bad I laugh. Yeah, that's a good point, the Kiki Pinkies. It's like they can make you laugh, but that doesn't mean that they are inherently a good movie or that they are inherently just a good movie on principle. I don't know. There's a lot of movies that can make me laugh, but that doesn't mean that, oh, this is a great movie. Like we can see movies that we know are bad, but go, I liked it. For some reason, I liked it. Major Pain is one of those rare movies that's like, I think is really good, but I don't know if it's really good because I saw it when I was a little younger, and it made me laugh all the time when he's doing his little things, and he's like, oh, you're hurt from your gunshot? Well, I'm gonna take your mind off that pain, and you may feel a little pressure. And he like cracks the guy's finger down, and he's worried about that pain instead of the gun thing, and he's just freaking crazy. So that's one example, and But yeah, yeah, the Kinky Pinkies. I'm definitely going to do one about the Predator. If you want to do a live stream sometime too, like we can. I don't know exactly how to set it up. I'll have to ask Jeff the Iron Wolf how we got set up. It took us like a half an hour to actually figure out how to do a live stream at the same time together and on his channel, but we got it to work at some point. And we can talk about film and other stuff. See, I do really well when I can bounce off of somebody. If somebody else can take over for a sec, then I can regain my thoughts and ask them a question and have a back and forth. When it's just me talking, I feel like I have to be talking the whole time without any pauses like this. Watch. I think that's weird. Like if I'm watching a stream and there's a silence, like a momentary silence, that's just kind of weird. But yeah, I almost want to keep on talking about the Force Awakens idea because I keep on thinking of stuff in my head. I'll tell you one more thing about the idea that I had from my notes that I wrote down. So it would be about the opening scene in my version of the Force Awakens. You'd have Leia, Han, and Chewie on an alien planet talking with an alien amphibian chick or something that's humanoid. Excuse me. And they'd be talking a little bit about politics, but she'd basically be like, "So, do you want to join the New Republic now?" And the other one would go, "Well, I don't know. The First Order wanted us to join too." And then she tries to kind of convince them as to why they think that they should join, and then they get attacked by gangsters or by something, droids even maybe. Like my thought was kind of the old droids from the Separatists were all deactivated. They never said they were destroyed. Maybe the gangsters or smaller, like little solar systems of governments, like were able to get some of the droids, and they use them as their own little tiny armies to go and cause trouble where they can and try to cause. They're trying to make a war between the two factions, the First Order and the Republic, so there can be another war and more gaining for resources and allies and stuff, so they'd get more out of it. But Han would be sitting there in this meeting on the planet, like freaking snoring. He's bored of politics. He doesn't want to deal with this crap. And then you have, Chewie run in. There's people coming. And then, oh yeah. All right, so what I need. Boom. Have him and Chewie rip off some droid arms. Have Han do some stuff. Have Leia kick some ass, whatever. If they want to have some strong female characters, they can be in that scene too. Like maybe Leia has a bodyguard that can, kick ass too. I mean, it doesn't matter, but you don't have to you don't have to shove it down your throat that they're a strong female. Just have them be their characters and be good characters. And then there you go. You'll have good characters there and people will want to see them. And then after that, I don't really know how that scene would play out yet. I haven't thought about it completely. And so I don't know. So when they go to Jakku, where there's Rey, I would have Rey be there. She would never have left the planet. She would be a very innocent girl. She would have some skills, yes, but she wouldn't be as skilled as she was in the Force Awakens movie. And Poe would be the rebellion pilot like he is. Finn would be his stormtrooper like he is, but he would be a better stormtrooper. He wouldn't have been a janitor this is his first time going onto a fight. No, he's an experienced one. He is like second compared to Phasma, which Phasma would be like the squad leader, the stormtrooper leader, basically. Then he'd be like one of the second or third in command of it. But he's got his own little battalion. That's his own thing, his own group. And you'd also get to see a lot of other stormtroopers with their helmets off. Maybe some stormtroopers, instead of all being human, are alien, and they don't have the same stormtrooper fit because they can't fit for aliens, but have them modified for aliens. So if they have tentacle things, maybe there's some type of armor that works on them better, that looks cool, that still stormtrooper feel with it, and has weapons that vary, that aren't the same exact weapons as all the other stormtroopers, have the uniqueness in the army. And so what I would have in this film is that Poe and Finn would be trying to get after Poe, and Poe would run into Rey, and then Finn would eventually run into them as well. And there'd maybe be a huge storm or something, kind of like how they did in the Phantom Menace. And, they'd have to kind of be stuck there with each other for a while. Rey, Finn, and Poe, all strangers. Finn and Poe are on opposite sides. She's completely neutral in this and doesn't really know what to do and what's going on. But she's excited by it too, but she's nervous. She's, well, this is awesome, but holy crap, what the hell's going on? And, then you'd be able to get good character development that way. You'd be able to maybe give Finn a reason to turn good, or give him the idea to maybe turn good. And maybe later you could also see that he and Phasma, which seemed to be cool at first, maybe he sees her doing some things that are a little more dirty than he's used to. Maybe he just hasn't seen her do some certain things, like kill somebody when he was about to let him go. And maybe that is part of what is making him want to sympathize with the enemy, which they aren't technically enemies yet, but you know what I mean. And this would just cause some better conflict. And then when it gets toward the end of the film, at some point, like I said, I don't have it all thought out yet. I would want there to be, okay, since they introduced Snoke, I would want to keep him in the story too. But he wouldn't be the way he was. He wouldn't be this all-powerful thing. I would have him having just woken up from a forced nap or something, like maybe a few years ago, and then he's, his force power is getting noticed by Luke and Kylo, so they go and check him out together, whether or not they're angry with each other or not. Maybe Kylo has his Knights of Ren with him, and Luke goes with a few of his Jedi or something, and they're going to go check it out, not together, but they meet up together, and they greet Snoke, and Snoke's like, "Oh, wow, what's going on here? Oh, some Jedi. Oh, there are still some left. Okay." And then maybe he tells of a new threat coming and how he's going to have to actually work together with the Jedi in order to help against the threat. Have there be a new threat that unites the First Order and the Republic, so that it's, instead of them being rebels versus Empire again, it's rebels and Empire team up to fight the new baddie, which isn't really the most newest thing. That's how Dragon Ball does it all the time, but that would at least be a change of pace from what Star Wars has presented. Yeah, Phasma has so much going on, such a great female role, and it's the armor. Yeah, I think Phasma could have had potential. The way that they marketed Captain Phasma was that she was going to be a strong female leader, character, stormtrooper, that she would stand out and all this stuff. But in the film, she just kind of stands there, goes, "Hey, Finn, do what I say." "Okay, bye." And then, "Oh, I guess you have a gun to my head, so I guess I'm gonna, do what you say." That's all her character was. Her character didn't do anything, and she could have. And her not having taken her helmet off is kind of dumb. But I mean, I guess if she's always in battle, then okay. But if they're trying to have women be strong, I mean, well, there's so many ways they could have done it, honestly, but they just don't know what the hell they're doing with it. I mean, if anything, they did sell it for a toy. The chrome stormtrooper armor is pretty much for that of a toy, I would assume, is the only reason why. And then if it's a female on top of it, then they have that on top of it too, and there they go. Yeah, I don't know if she should have been the new Boba. I mean, Boba was fine as he was, but but I don't know. But yeah, the writers killed her. It's like they brought her back in The Last Jedi, and they could have done something else with her. Like, if they already screwed up her in The Force Awakens, okay. But then they brought her back in The Last Jedi and did nothing. They could have redeemed her, did something. Like, maybe if, okay, they did what they did in The Force Awakens, and then in The Last Jedi, maybe she's a little different. I would have liked to seen her out of the armor in a way, or at least have it broken off or pieced off or something, but and then have her express emotion, because you need to see a face to really see emotion. I mean, you can have emotion without seeing facial expressions, but I don't think that any of those actors could do it without facial expressions. But then again, a lot of their acting was so bad that I don't really know anymore how they could have done it, honestly. And a lot of people think that there should have been better actors, which I do kind of agree that there should have been some better actors in there, but I don't really know about that either, because we recognize so many people now that having new faces, I think, was a good idea. Like, I kind of liked seeing Rey because I didn't see her before. I never saw John Boyega before. I never saw quite a few of them. Oscar Isaacs, I mean, we've always seen him in makeup and other movies as he plays monsters and creatures and stuff. So this was fine for him to be in it like that, and he's a name that people recognize. And even like Holdo, they could have done so many things. Jeff the Iron Wolf has a good idea with Holdo in his rewrite of The Last Jedi, which that should be good too. And I'm going to help him out a little bit on that. He's going to help me. We're going to bounce around ideas with each other about what to do with our stuff and see what's going on. But I don't know. I'll let you guys know what my progress is on the Force Awakens stuff. I might do a stream one of these days that I just talk about that too, because there's still a lot that I could say, and you guys can give me feedback and stuff. And as I grow and people realize that I'm live streaming now, I don't think there's like so many people live streaming tonight, and it's late and it's Saturday night that I'm glad that I even have you two guys watching me right now. So I appreciate that, and yeah, I'm afraid The Last Jedi has good actors. Yeah, well, I mean, good actors, but they even if they're good actors, they didn't. To me, they didn't act that well in the film. I mean, like Mark Hamill is great, but I still don't really think that the performance was as good as it could have been. I think if he was able to be Luke Skywalker the way he wants to be Luke Skywalker, then he would have done very well. But being this old fart was just really not his thing. Han Solo was good. I'd say that Harrison Ford was good as Han Solo. This is honestly one of the funniest I've seen him as, but still felt out of place here and there. Just yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm not sure what else to really say right now about Star Wars. I know that there's plenty on my mind that I could talk about Star Wars, of course, for freaking long time. But yeah, it's kind of late a little bit over here. It's a little bit after 11 over here, but I've been working all week and got to work in the morning. I'll probably go for another 5 or 10 minutes on the stream. If you guys mind sticking around, that's cool. I can get some good back and forth still. So yeah, those newcomers sucked, and they're actually good actors. Yeah, I mean, I think that Rey could be a good actress in a film. I like that image of Rey. I like the actress. I like Daisy Ridley playing as her, but I just wish that they could have just done more with her. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know, her acting. I just keep on thinking of the part where she's like lifting the rocks and just oh, this is so easy. I mean, everybody was able to. I mean, with Luke, he struggled to lift a few rocks, and then Rey's just, oh yeah, lifting rocks so hard. Are we rolling? Are we rolling, guys? Is basically how she was, and that was just not fun to watch, not fun to see. But I don't know. Like, who do you guys want to see in a Star Wars film? What actors or actresses do you think would be good in a Star Wars film? That's something that I don't think everybody gives a lot of thought to. Who would play good Jedi? Who would play good villains? Who would play good stormtroopers? Good aliens? Like if you were to put like an actor in makeup or whatever, I think Ron Perlman should be in a freaking Star Wars film. That would be great. He was good as Hellboy. You could have him as some other type of alien creature, and with his very deep voice and talking about, I'm going to kill you, the Jedi, or something. His type of voice would be freaking sweet in a Star Wars thing. And writing and directors are responsible, dude. Yeah, I guess that's true too. But we can agree that there's a lot of elements that went into how the film was pretty bad and how the actors were able to act. But I don't know. But I personally haven't seen the new ones, the new actors in the movies act in anything else. Like I haven't seen Daisy Ridley in anything else to know how she is. I haven't seen Finn in anything else to know how he is in other situations. So just from what we got from watching that, I think that they're bad. But yeah, reshoots and not all actors. Yep. I don't know how many reshoots they did on The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens, but I know that reshoots on Solo is pretty much partly what killed it. That's for sure. Did you guys like Rogue One? Rogue One, I thought was a snooze fest. The guy in the theater next to me was literally falling asleep. He was snoring. I mean, some parts were good, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I didn't like Rogue One. I mean, the last battle was kind of cool. It was kind of good. I mean, there's parts of it that were really good, but overall, I mean, I was so bored that whole movie. Jyn was so unlikable to me. I mean, she could have been, but there just wasn't anything there. The blind guy had no character. I mean, I don't even know all their names. I don't know all their names at all. They keep on going to random planets, like 12 different planets, and they made the whole getting the plans for the Death Star thing so complicated. Like, I thought that they were lucky that they even found an opening into the Death Star, not that there was an intentional weakness, which just, I don't know. I mean, it was cool how it led into the New Hope. I think that's cool. And the Vader scene, of course, was awesome. But just overall, that movie is a snore fest. It's one of the ones that you'd have to fast forward through quite a bit. Like the Attack of the Clones. I like the Attack of the Clones, but I would have to fast forward through a lot of it to get to the parts that I like. Excuse me, which the battle scene with the gladiator arena, basically, and then all the Jedi fighting and the fight with Dooku. I liked that as a kid. Those are the main parts that I liked growing up. The stuff with Jango Fett was all right, but I'll give my opinions on the prequels and the other movies at some point too. There's a lot of potential with videos for the channel. I'm one of the noobs, and I haven't given all my opinions on everything yet, so there'll be plenty of time for that. And yeah, it is sweet battle scenes, and the rest is cringe fest. Yep, that's right. That's pretty much what I'm saying. The battle scenes were good, except for the battle scene that had all the stormtroopers fighting them in the middle of the film, where first Jin beats all them up with a baton, and then the blind guy beats them all up with a stick, and then the black dude comes in and shoots like 9 or 10 of them down with like one shot. That whole scene was just abysmal to watch, and it made stormtroopers were already low on the totem pole, and that just brought them way down into the dirt. Like, you're getting beat by sticks and dirt and just getting beat. I mean, what's even the point of stormtroopers? I mean, I know they got beat by Ewoks, which I kind of have a beef with a little bit, but I forgive it for the times that it was, and it was more innocent at the time, as to where now it's just feels lazy. But I don't know. There's another topic I want to go over at some point is just because something happened in the first movie or in a previous film doesn't mean that it's always okay to do the same thing in a following film. Like, a lot of people will say, oh, well, the prequels and the originals had horrible dialogue, so it's okay if these new ones do too. But I don't agree with that. The new ones need to have at least better dialogue-ish. I mean, they don't need to have horrible dialogue, but it's not like the originals had horrible dialogue. It's just a little clunky, a little cheesy, as to where these just seem like they're bad in general. Like, that nobody would say things like this. Yeah, hey, the Force is sensitive. Oh yeah, the Force sensitive. Yeah, or he's Force sensitive. Yeah. The blind guy's force sensitive. That's fine that he's force sensitive, but he's still beating them up with the stick. I'm fine with him being able to fight, but stormtroopers whack with the stick should just be, when they hit, should just not do anything. If anything, the stick should break or something. That shouldn't, knock him out, and then knock the next one out, knock the next one out. I think that was a little ridiculous. And this would be kind of cool too. They could have done the same scene, but have the stormtroopers not be in all of their armor. Like, if one of them had their head out, if you were to see a bunch of stormtroopers on break, like just chilling, drinking their space beer and whatever, just eating some meat or something, and then, oh shit, we got to get on duty. Oh crap, let's get our stuff and go. And then they're getting attacked like that. That would make more sense to me, and that would be a more fun scene to see in a Star Wars film, instead of just stormtroopers coming to them to get beat up by a stick. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he should have been a Jedi. See, I don't think he should have been. I don't think that the blind guy should have been a Jedi. I liked that they had him be kind of just a regular Force-ish user, but not completely. But that's all right. Why didn't they write him as a blind Jedi anyway? Well, I don't know if you know this, but the actor who plays as the blind guy, he wasn't written as a blind guy. In the script, he was just a guy. But then he suggested to the director and stuff to make him a blind character. He added that blindness, which made his character at least something, because he was a blind guy. He wasn't even going to be blind in the original draft. He wasn't going to be blind, so they made him blind as for his suggestion on what they should do. And that pretty much tells you that they So they didn't even think about the Rogue One had so many reshoots and rewrites that I don't even know what they knew that the final product was going to be, because the trailers showed something completely different than what we got to see in the film. But I mean, that's just what you get, I guess. I love the idea of blindness. No, I agree with you on that. And I'm kind of surprised that they don't show more blind characters or more characters with handicaps. But I mean, there's plenty of movies that they'll have. And, I guess the new Han Solo, I would say, was handicapped. But that's just me. um, all right. What time is it? All right. Well, it's about 20 minutes to midnight. I would like to keep on streaming until midnight, but I think I'm about to close it out just because I got to go to the bathroom, honestly. But, otherwise, I'd stay out here for at least until midnight, but I got to go to the bathroom. So it's been awesome talking with you guys. I doubt that people are going to watch this in the archive. So thank you, the Kinky Pinkies and the Real Peacemaker, for chatting with me. That makes it, like I said, this made it a little bit easier for me to talk, because even though it's not a voice coming back at me, it's still something. So hoping that you guys have a good one. A blind Jedi would kick some ass because his other senses are sharp. Well, yeah, he'd basically be like Daredevil. I mean, if you think about it, the blind Jedi is basically like Daredevil, but I don't know. I mean, they do that idea a lot in the Star Wars games, like in the Force Unleashed. The one teacher, gets his eyes sliced by the Vader's apprentice, and then he eventually becomes his teacher as a blind teacher. And in Knights of the Old Republic, I think they have some blind characters, but I don't know. I think Star Wars is just going through a phase where they just don't know what they want to do yet. They're trying to please audiences that they haven't pleased before, and they're ignoring others while they do it. And I think after the after the ninth film, I think that things might start getting better, but I really don't know. It's hard to tell with Lucasfilm what they're going to do, because they keep on throwing ideas out on the chalkboard and nothing's sticking. Nothing's really sticking at all. But I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you, the Peacemaker, and thank you, the Kinky Pinkies, for sticking around. See, I'm starting to slur my voice now. I've been holding in this piss for a while, so I got to go, guys. All right. Have a good night.